Good morning. How is everyone? Good, good, good. Any Flyers fans in the house? Let's go. Let's hear for you. How about Phillies fans? Let's go. Let's go. Well, welcome everyone. Really appreciate you being here. My name is Rich Lenkov. I am the founder and CEO of SERMA, an organization that just started a few short months ago. And we're really proud to have you here today and incredibly proud to have these excellent speakers for you. So SERMA is the Sports and Entertainment Risk Management Alliance. And a lot of people have asked what caused us to come up with the idea and start this organization. And to explain it, I got to give you a couple of images first. And by the way, if you participate today, we want this to be very active and participatory. We've got some great giveaways. As an incentive, we're going to show you just one. Who loves gritty? Who doesn't love gritty? We've got a gritty chia pet among our many gifts. So, if you could tell me who some of these people are, that'll help tell you the story of SERMA. Anyone know any of these individuals? Shell is disqualified. Our friend Shell. Anyone? Shout it out. James Worthy. Well, you can't say all of them. Anyone else in the back? Mike says Kareem. Anyone knows the guy in the top right? Horace Grant. Very good. All right, we've got a gritty for you. We've got something else for you guys. So, what do these all have in common besides being championship-winning NBA players? Who said who gave us the other one? Yes, sir, Mike. What do they all have in common? Glasses, sports goggles, an era of the 80s and 90s. Another thing is, who knows what this is?
That is a vintage Jordan 1.
Air Jordan 1, 1.0, right?
Okay.
Who set it out here? Right here. There you go. This is a Flyers beer stein for you. We've got a lot of gifts, don't worry, so speak up. All right, so that's Air Jordan 1.0. Now going for $15,000 as pre-owned. That came out in 1985. Also in 1985, something else happened. So I'm a big sports fan. I'm a lawyer in Chicago. I handle workers' compensation, general liability, entertainment law, and lifelong sports fan, lifelong movie and TV fan, and been playing sports my whole life despite my lack of seeming stature. So this is a team that I was engaged in, also in the 80s, 1985. This was my high school basketball team. Faith has some...
Where are you on this picture?
Well, could anyone see where I am? Yeah, it's hard to see. Look at the guy who looks like they played the least, and you'll find me. But we're going to get back to this in a second. But so if you notice, there I am. I have the Worthy goggles as a relic of the 80s, right there. And look down. Look what this guy's got. Air Jordan 1.0, the OG Air Jordan. So if only my mother kept those shoes, I could be $15,000 wealthier. But a couple other interesting things about this picture. So first of all, I went to a Jewish high school, and the team was called the Herzliya Huskies. I'll tell you that no one in history has ever said, oh no, we got to play the Jews this week. No one's ever circled their calendar and said, oh my God, we have to play the Jewish high school team this week. So we would lose by 75-2. And if you also see, my shoes were in great shape because I barely got off the bench. But here's the best part of the picture. So not a lot of successful basketball teams outside of maybe Israel have guys named Kravitz, Perez, Earl Klein, Robbie. No one's ever said, oh no, I got to guard Earl Klein today. Who wants the Robbie Rishikoff matchup? So that's a little bit of what drove me to my lifelong love of sports. So why SERMA? Why now? Why are we doing this? Why are you here today? So we realize that in handling claims, lawsuits, risk involving sports and entertainment, which is a lot of what I do, a lot of what you all do, presumably, there wasn't a lot of resources out there, surprisingly. Even though there's a group seemingly for everything these days, right? And there's wonderful organizations. Claims Exchange is a great one. I'm on the advisory board for Claims Exchange, but specifically dealing with a lot of the issues that we face every day, that we talk about every day, there wasn't a lot in the marketplace to help us learn, educate others, share resources, network. So I thought, why is that? It's such a booming area and such a busy area. And to illustrate just a small point, here are some headlines. Does anyone want to guess what time period we're covering here? I'm going to drop these down. They keep going. Hang on. So is this from like the last year, the last 2 years, the last 3 years? Who wants to guess what time period we're talking about? This is the last 10 days, okay? So these are only the issues that have come up in sports and entertainment literally in the last couple weeks. And I defy you to find anyone out there really analyzing how these issues affect sports teams, production companies, venue owners, in the space. So what we're trying to accomplish with SERMA is to provide a resource for issues like this, to provide content, to provide networking at groups like this. So far, we hope we've delivered on that in a couple different ways. So again, if you're not a member of SERMA, we'd love you to join. The goal is to be a very small organization. We're not looking to be, in the tens of thousands. What we're trying to do, again, is to provide that content, provide that networking in a small environment like this. To accomplish that, we really want to have people in the organization who are, in line with what our mission is. It's in front of you, and also aligned with the ideas that we're trying to accomplish. That being said, if you're not currently in sports and entertainment, that's okay. If you aspire to be in that area, there's lots of room for you with us as well. So if you're not a member, please take one of our membership brochures on your way out and join. It's very easy to join. In terms of the content, and we're going to get to our speakers here in a moment, in terms of the content, so far in the 6 months that we've been around, we've done many webinars, some of which are in front of you today, many of whom have been presented by some of our excellent speakers, some of the audience members as well. We've also we are doing something called the SERMA Pod, although hopefully after today, with Faith's help, we're going to rename it. I don't love the title of SERMA Pod. It's our podcast. If anyone has a suggestion on a better name, we'd love to hear from you at any point. And we've got a great prize, of course, if you do. But that's our current name. And we're doing a podcast every 2 weeks. And actually, Matt, who's our producer, Matt Liller, say hi. We've discussed, because of how much content is out there and that we're producing, maybe going every week. So we're booking podcasts well into December because of the amazing people we have coming on, not just members, but all sorts of experts in the area. But here are some of the topics we've done. Did anyone know, for example, that you could buy insurance for free throw contests, for fan contests? Who knew? Or lotteries. We did a great podcast on that. So, next time you make that half-court shot at the Sixers game, there's an insurance company paying that. That might be obvious. It wasn't to me. Live versus PGA Golf. We did a lessons learned from the Vegas unfortunate shooting. That was, the anniversary was last week. So we also recently had one of our great ones was, any horror fans in the room? Friday the 13th? Have you seen a Friday the 13th recently? No, because there's lots of litigation involving IP in Friday the 13th. We actually had a lawyer on the podcast who, believe it or not, was in Friday the 13th Part 3, and he was the first ever actor to wear the Jason mask. He's also an IP lawyer, so that was a really interesting one. That career seemingly didn't support him for the next 40 years, wearing the mask. We've also got some other great live events. This is, you're standing at our first one. This is our first ever live event. We're doing an event next week for those of you that might be attending the National Work Comp Conference in Vegas. That's a secret. At some point, we'll have to tell you what that secret is for you to actually appear, but let us know if you're coming. We're doing an event at Sundance in January. That'll be fun. And then our next sort of major conference like this is going to be a general counsel panel of sports GCs in Chicago. So we've got some of the sports teams, general counsels committed. They're going to talk about issues that they face. Polestar Live, we're doing an incredible event in Colorado Springs, thanks to our friend Jess at the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee Training Center. So that's going to be an incredible one. We're going to do an actual Olympic event that you could participate in. We're going to have some great speakers. We're going to do that in conjunction with Rocky Mountain Rims. And then we're doing a diversity and inclusion panel in New York in the coming year. So stay tuned for all of that. We're heavily on social media, thanks to Corey. Corey, say hello. Corey is really big on social media. You probably have seen, so she's helping out with that. So stay tuned on social media, on our website for all that info. Before we get to our speakers, I also want to just give a shout out to our advisory board. So when I formed this a few months ago, my goal was to get some people involved who are leaders in the industry and who are also, interested in this mission, right? You could get a lot of people to loan their names to a lot of organizations. The people we have on our advisory board, I'm very humbled to say, are incredibly passionate. Not only are they leaders in their field, that goes without saying. They're some of the best, brightest, most experienced people doing this work. But what separates them is that they're really committed, as you see today, and some of you saw from our other events and our webinars, they're incredibly committed to what we're trying to do. They're incredibly generous with their time, and most importantly, with their ideas, right? We're really an organization devoted to sharing ideas and things that you aren't hearing elsewhere. So big thanks to our advisory board. In addition to those on stage, I want to say, our other advisory board members who are in the audience to stand up and say hello. Shalom. Stand up, say hello. Scott Burmack. Brian Rosenblatt. Brian K. Fritz is somewhere. There's Brian. We've got Anshul Boggs somewhere in the room. Yes, sir. Did I miss anyone? No. Good. Well, welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. Oh, Pete Hecht. Sorry. Pete Hecht is in the back of the room. You were hiding. There he is. The legendary Pete Hecht. I also want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. Obviously, we've got some great content today. We had Gritty. We got food coming out in a few minutes. Lunch will be served at 11:30. Please grab it and then come back to your seats. Don't feel like it's too stuffy. We're going to have a lot of interaction. But Steve from Marsh, I want you to stand up. Thank you for being a sponsor. Of course, you met Pete from Magna. Pete, stand up again. Thank you for being a sponsor. And then our last sponsor is Weber Gallagher. Scott Burmack also. Thank you so much. So with that being said, and with me giving a lot of commercials for SERMA, I'm going to get right into our content. So our discussion today, and we're going to talk today for about 60 minutes, and then we're going to have a presentation by an incredible keynote, Riley Cote, former Philadelphia Flyer. Riley, welcome. Riley's going to tell you about his life on the ice, and then what he's done since leaving the NHL, which is an incredible story. And then we're going to take a couple photos, and we're going to get you out of here by about 12:30. So again, lunch at 11:30. Some of it's already there. Grab it. Don't be shy. We don't mind you eating while we talk. And then we'd love this to be interactive. We did not, I'll tell you the truth, we did not spend too much time practicing. That was quite purposeful. Yeah. They'll all tell you, and they're a little bit unhappy with me. But no, we wanted this to be very interactive. We didn't want to be too rehearsed. That's kind of our model for SERMA. I don't love attending conferences where everything's sort of scripted. So they're going to tell you their experiences in managing event risk, which covers a wide spectrum of things. But we also want you to be involved. Again, I've got 3 more bags of giveaways. So if you ask a question, have a comment, we're going to give you something. Please interact. With that being said, I'm going to ask our speakers, starting with Dave, to introduce themselves, tell you a little bit what they do, and then we'll get rolling with our first topic.